Credit mailer changed terms without notice. Here's what actually happened. When a credit mailer changed terms without notice. You logged in to check your stats and something felt off. A checkbox you don't remember seeing was already checked. A line in the terms mentioned something about partner data sharing that wasn't there before, or wasn't there in the version you remember agreeing to. Maybe a feature launch that quietly pulls in your list activity to power something else on the platform. Nobody emailed you about it. Nobody asked. If your credit mailer changed terms without notice, the first thing to understand is that you didn't miss an email. There usually wasn't one. This isn't a glitch, and it isn't a random policy update that slipped through the cracks. Free and low-cost safelist and credit mailer platforms run on a specific business model, and that model doesn't include asking permission before it changes how your data gets used. The platform owns the infrastructure. You're renting space on it. When the terms change, they're not violating an agreement. They're exercising one you already signed, usually years ago, usually without reading the section that mattered. The list you think you built isn't yours. Here's the part that actually costs you something. You've spent months, maybe years, building a list of contacts inside that platform. You've mailed consistently, built up credits, maybe developed a reputation inside that network. All of that activity lives on their servers, under their terms, subject to their next update. You don't own that list. You have access to it, for now, under conditions the platform can change again without asking you first. The list you think you built was never yours to keep. You were granted temporary use of it, and that use just got smaller. Most affiliate marketers don't find this out until something forces the question. A feature change, a data sharing default, a platform sunset. By then, the instinct is to look for a workaround, adjust a setting, opt out of the new thing. Read the updated terms more carefully next time. None of that touches the actual problem. The actual problem is architectural. As long as your list lives inside someone else's platform, every term they've ever written applies to you retroactively, and every term they haven't written yet will too. Why a better platform won't fix this? This is where most of the advice online gets it backwards. The common response to a credit mailer changed terms without notice is to treat it as a trust problem. Find a more trustworthy platform. Read reviews first. Pick a network with a better reputation. That's not wrong exactly. It's just aimed at the wrong layer. Trust doesn't fix an ownership problem. A platform with a spotless reputation today can still change its terms tomorrow because the structure that allows it hasn't changed. You'd just be renting from a landlord you like better. Where ownership actually gets decided. What actually changes the situation is capturing contacts to a list you control, outside the platform, from the traffic the platform sends you. Safe lists and credit mailers are traffic sources. They are not supposed to be your database. When someone clicks through from a mailing, that's the moment ownership gets decided. Either the contact goes to a list you hold in your own email system, or it stays inside the platform's walls, subject to whatever the platform decides next. Every credit mailer session you run without an opt-in step in the middle is another contact added to a list you'll eventually lose access to, on someone else's schedule, not yours. This doesn't mean credit mailers are a bad traffic source. They work exactly as intended when you treat them as a delivery mechanism and nothing more. Send the traffic somewhere you control. Capture the email there. Let the safe list or mailer do what it's built to do. Get people to click. And stop expecting it to also function as permanent storage for a business asset. The actual fix. If you're reading this because you just discovered a change you didn't approve, there's nothing to undo on the platform's end and no support ticket that reverses it. The terms changed because the agreement always allowed it to. The move now isn't fighting that decision. It's making sure the next batch of contacts you generate from that traffic lands somewhere the next terms update can't touch. That's the actual fix for a credit mailer. Change terms without notice. Not a better platform, not a closer reading of the fine print, but an opt-in step between their traffic and your list. If you don't have that step in place yet, start here.